Oh, frick! Oh, shoot!
Hello, everyone. It's another episode of the Capcom Podcast. I'm Cameron.
Shoot, we're live. Oh, shoot!
Oh
Frick!
no! Oh no! It's live. Oh
Dang.
no! Live. Oh no! Oh no! Live.
Welcome everyone to the hit new show, the Capcom Podcast, episode 1. My name is
So much episode 1.
Justy Lusty.
Justy Westy.
And this is my sidekick, Cameron J. Spector. And my
You know,
dog
I'm just a
walked in
sidekick
my
always.
door,
You know,
so
that's just
we're gonna
me.
see if she's gonna make an appearance here.
Who?
And we are live. Oh no, we're live. Is the bit done?
It's
What's going on?
Oh, there. Mia.
All
Mia's
three of
there.
us are
Gotcha.
here today. Hello,
Adorable.
Mia.
Love Mia.
And we are ready to bring you all the hit goss in the filmmaking world. Cameron, why don't you start us off with the hit goss?
Well, I've been tired this week.
Wow. Oh shoot! Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Off to a great start. You're gone for like a month, and like this is what happens. You just like already make things wild. Yeah. I mean, I've just been so tired, especially because we had that stream last week, and or I had that stream last week, I should say. And fun fact: streaming for 26 hours straight makes you tired. Even being up for more than 20 hours straight makes you tired. Because I think I
thank you for anyone
calculated.
who tuned into the live stream event.
Yeah.
I know I did briefly.
Yeah. I mean, we had a fun time, and I'm just, I'm excited to be able to finally start making the movie and not just, working on getting money for the movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
rad movie. I read a script and I went, whoa, this is like a real interesting, introspective, personal tale with a lot of meat to it. So look out for Cameron's little movie. And today we'll be talking about another movie that came out that's equally introspective and personal.
We're just gonna let that hang like that.
Well, Cameron, in a
doing?
podcast, I would really appreciate I say a thing, then you work off of the thing.
Gotcha. Well, I thought you were gonna ask some more questions about the stream, maybe, or what else.
No, that happened already. The
That
people
happened
are
already?
here for the title of the video, Cameron. They don't.
That is true, but we do have a format
All right,
that we've been doing for over.
Okay, so we'll keep talking about us
But
until enough.
what have you? How have
leave,
you
and
been
then
doing,
we'll
Justin?
talk about the
What have you been up
topic.
to?
Yes. Okay. So are we still on the Cameron topic? We could keep talking.
No, we're on the Justin Chapman topic. What has Justin Chapman been up to?
Oh well, it's been a busy period. A lot of new as of late. It's been
Of that?
a crazy wacky little time. I've been getting back into reading. Joined a cute little queer hiking group. That's been a blast. Lots
You
of
a
tattoos.
hiker? You a hiker? You a hiker now?
Well,
That's wild.
does here's my question. People say hiking, but does hiking include just walking? Like when you just like walking down a path, is that still hiking, or do you need incline for hiking? Am I cheating by saying hiking?
Hiking would include an incline. That would be just my personal opinion, though.
Okay, but hiking sounds cooler than walking. Walking and
Valid.
yapping.
It's very valid. You know what? That's a hiking group. I'm just gonna go with that to make you feel more.
Yes, welcome to the Hikers Podcast. I'm your host, Justy with the Mosty, and this is my sidekick, Cameron J. Spector. We're excited to bring you
saying sidekick.
Minecraft news of the day.
You're really gonna make us go right into it.
You didn't even ask about my tattoos.
Okay, do you really have tattoos? New tattoos?
I got this one right before the podcast. It's his name's Cammy Jr.
I have no words. I have no
That's
words.
this guy,
Um,
but smaller. They
just
they kind of look alike if you look like they kind of. Cam, give us a big smile. What? Uncanny. This is crazy. This is good stuff. I like this. Um and okay, I know what the banner says at the bottom, but I did look up, Cameron,
yeah.
random movie list, right?
Oh, no.
So these are things that we could in theory have a conversation about other than the
So
current topic. So, when
wait,
I
so what
looked
you're
up
telling me is you don't wanna
random movie
watch a
list,
Minecraft
the
movie?
first thing that comes up is Horrible Bosses 2. Have you seen Horrible Bosses 2?
I have not seen what list is this?
Um, I looked up random movie lists, so here's a list. How about Death of a Salesman? Do you know do you know do you know the hit story of, Death of a Salesman?
The Hit? Yeah. Isn't that a Shakespeare? What?
No, it's not a it's no, it's firstly, it's based on a play that's way more modern than Shakespeare. But I
Shakespeare?
I I did, not see the movie, so I also cannot talk about that one. How about,
Oh, yeah, it's right, it's Arthur Miller, not, I
not
was wrong
Shakespeare,
on my
Arthur
playwright.
Miller, Shakespeare, like,
Hey, they're both
what's the
amazing
difference?
playwrights. I think Arthur Miller would be honored to be put in the same level as William Shakespeare.
I think most people would, but anyway, how about, Blackfish 2013? Do we know Blackfish? That's the
No, we do not know
documentary
Blackfish.
one?
No. Actually, maybe. Actually, I
No,
think I have seen Blackfish.
you might have heard of it at least. That's the one that's like, "Oh, SeaWorld's bad," I think. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
yeah, I've seen that. I saw that movie. I saw it
I did
in a
not.
random
How
apartment.
about Hotel Transylvania from 2012?
That I have seen. I haven't seen it in a while though.
Okay,
I
maybe
would
you
need
wanna
to,
talk about that today?
but not about the movie that's literally in the title down
Yeah,
here and
well,
like in the
the
thumbnail.
kids call it clickbait. Um,
Are you doing see, I think what just has happened, folks, is we've both tried to do is skirt away from the fact that I chose this movie and then regretted it.
I
And so I want to talk
Cameron,
about
regrets?
us.
I
I
think
wanted
you
to
should live a
talk about
life
us,
free of
and then and
regrets.
then and then and then you were like, "No, let's go to the movie." And then so your solution is let's just talk about other movies.
I do think it's a good solution. I mean, like, no one's in control of our destiny.
Yeah, but now I'm really hyped, like not hyped about this movie. I'm hyped about talking about this movie because I have thoughts. And they're not good thoughts, but they are thoughts, you know?
I do. I checked.
You get it.
Um,
You get it. You get it.
let me pull up my list of notes, my little notes list, that
I
starts
mean,
with
let's first
list
talk
of
about the
better
fact
recent media to talk about. I guess I
we
skipped the recent
I
part.
guess I'll talk first if that's
Okay,
okay,
so,
since you're looking for your
for those of you just tuning in for the first time to the Capcom podcast, we'll talk about our initial thoughts on the hit new movie that we were talking about. It's not always a hit new movie.
it's
Um, yeah,
it's not
are you
always a
doing
hit,
this for
neither
hits
is
or are
it
you doing
new.
this for movie?
Honestly, I feel like both are valid.
Ooh, interesting. It's gonna be a talking point then. Um, So for those, we'll give the gist. We'll give the gist of what we think of the movie, and then
Yep.
a general vibe, and then we'll hit the spoiler section because you are not going to want to get spoiled on this one because there's a lot going on in this one, and if you are a Minecraftian or even a moviegoer, you're not gonna want to know ahead of time what's going on here. It's kind of like the Marvel experience,
Justin,
or
please tell us what
Shakespeare.
is a Minecraft movie about?
Well, Cameron, glad you asked. A Minecraft movie is about uh Jack Black. You see, Jack Black, aka known as Bowser from the Mario movie. Uh, we'll tie in all the video game movies. Has a man of creativity steps into the world of Minecraft, discovers a portal there, and absolutely adores this beautiful world until he finds out that
We'll get to
Chicken
this in a moment.
Jockey is there. Uh,
Scribbles, we'll get to this in a moment.
Scribbles.
I need
Um,
to get something off my chest.
uh, but then he finds out that the orb can be used for maybe some evil purposes. So he hides it away. Hide the magic orb. Hide it. Until many years later, or maybe it's more like many weeks later. Not very clear. Is it? Maybe it is. I don't know.
I think it's
A bunch
supposed to
of
signify time
misfits
has passed.
have come together based off of their general proximity in location to one another, find the orb, travel into the Minecraft world portal, and then
I
they're in
tru
the world of Minecraft and get
I
into
need
some
to just point
hijinks.
out,
And are they gonna get home, Cameron? Are they gonna get home?
I need to point out truly the fact the only reason why these 4 people come together is because they're in close proximity of each
I mean,
other.
okay, we got siblings, and then a man that's close by and a woman that's close by. Yes,
Right. But
yes.
that's the only thing.
Well,
I
I
feel
mean
that's
that
overall.
happens sometimes. Sometimes you're watching a movie and it's but you're watching the Breakfast Club and they're like, "Oh wow, we're students in proximity of each other." Well, except in that scenario, it's a little more specific of, "Oh no,
Yeah.
we got detention. We're all in this together, baby."
Also, let's point out they chose Idaho as the state for these people to be in.
No one thinks to check Idaho for a magic orb. Would you?
Like,
Would that be
what
like towards the top of your list?
I don't know. You know what? If I
That's what
look
I'm
under
saying.
states where weird things happen, I always think about the ones that have the least going on, because that's where most of magical portals and stuff like that show up. So I'm thinking, our Dakotas, or Montana, or Idaho's, or Wyoming's, not really Utah, like northern Nevada, the eastern part of Washington State and Oregon, those states, stuff where like
If I give you a
nothing is truly
Sporkle quiz, would
happening.
you be able to guess all the states? Like, just go down the list? Like, can you
Yes, but I
name
don't think that's the good use of our time.
I'm not saying we're doing it right now. I just
But I
am
could.
jealous because I'll do that every once in a while. I always miss, like, 3 or 4 of them. Like,
But which 3
who
or 4?
remembers Vermont? These are the questions.
Um,
I can remember North Carolina. South is a little trickier. Great, but yes,
I mean, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I did not like this movie.
What? Frick, what? Karen, what? But this is the movie of the people.
Is it though? What people?
Well, there's 3 people in the chat that are at least interested in our thoughts. I don't know if they're all still there, but we have Jacqueline Spector, Jeffrey Spector, and Scribble. So,
Isn't it Scribbles?
and Scribbles. I was thinking maybe it was a silent S at the end, but I think it's a good point.
I mean, that is a question on Scribble or Scribbles. How do you want us to say your name? Is it Scribble? Is it Scribbles? Do you want us to say Scribbles
I said it in
625?
a ridiculous way.
Scribbles 625?
Very
Like,
clearly,
what is it?
The final S should be pronounced. I mean, feel free to say otherwise, but that would be my assumption.
Hey, be who you want to be.
Barbie girl. Is that what you're going for?
No.
Be who you wanna be, Barbie girl.
I in fact did not like this movie. I sat through this movie regretting going to this movie, as you could think. Which is why I mean Scribbles, you're just amazing.
I was a little heartbroken by what Cameron had to say, but Scribbles, letting us know this information does make me feel a little warmer. So that's good.
Love that. Here's the thing, Justin.
Yeah.
I've been regretting. Like I thought when this movie was announced, I was like, oh, it's not gonna be that bad. It's gonna be like meh. It's gonna be worse than the Mario Brothers movie, and I enjoyed the Mario Brothers movie. I remember watching that with you, Justin, in theaters.
And that's me.
and we had a good time, I felt at least, you know? But we
And
had
then
it
what
was
happened?
and then I watched the movie, and I realized that
Whoa, wow.
7 different people wrote the screenplay together, and that's never a good sign. I
I
mean,
mean, it
Justin,
could be a
like,
sign
you
of
have a different
friendship and camaraderie, but
Yeah,
I
but
see.
Justin, have you ever read a good movie or watched a good movie that came from 7 different writers?
I think Emoji Movie was.
Was that a good movie?
Well, no. Oh.
You see? You see what I mean?
Good good movies written by many people. What is Google? Well, the AI overview says several well-regarded movies have been written by multiple people, often collaborating on the screenplay. Some examples include Casablanca, The
Sure.
Godfather, which was written by two whole people.
Yeah, I know. I think the most that
Citizen Kane was written by more than one person, aka two.
yeah, most are written by 2. I've heard a few that have been written by 4, and I've now, like, 'cause I had a nice I had the opportunity to talk with one of the writers from BlacKkKlansman. 'Cause
Yay.
those are 4 writers on there that wrote
Mhm,
that script. Basically, what happened is there were 2 original writers, and then Spike Lee bought the rights to the script and then did a kinda rewrite with someone else. So, like, it wasn't really so it was, like, 2 sets of people worked on it,
mhm.
right? Which I think is fine, but once you get to, like, 5 different people, 6 different people, 7 different people, I hard sell. Hard
Well,
sell that's gonna be a good
maybe
movie.
one person like really wrote it. And then a bunch of people did a little tinkering, little tinky tinkering.
That doesn't help the fact that this is still just not a good movie. I also feel
What?
every single
I
person
thought, I
in
thought I
the
saved the movie, but I guess there's
no.
more things that I'm gonna have to prove wrong on today. Go
I mean,
on.
I guess I mean, what is your overall thoughts on this film?
Well, you know that I was a little nervous going into this one, because I heard from people like Cameron Spector to not expect Citizen Kane. But so I bought myself some cookie dough bites, and my bit that I was gonna come in here with was,
I have a thing. I bought a thing.
oh, you always buy a thing in the middle of me saying things. Can you
Keep
still
talking.
hear me?
I can hear you.
Cool. Um, I have bad news that I did eat all my cookie dough bites before the movie, so I couldn't do my funny little bit where I have a cookie dough bite to help me through each tough moment of the movie. Um, so I was kind of alone out there. I was really going through it. Um, you went into the movie being like, I expect this to be fine, and then you came out being like, this was bad. Um, Reverse for me. I was like, I'm going expecting bad, and I was like, it's fine. It's like it's it. I the every now and then, right? There would be like long stretches of like, oh, this is a little obnoxious, but then like one like really absurd joke, and I'm like, okay, that was fun. That was they got me a little bit there.
I
And just
cannot
these
believe
little
yeah.
nuggets of fun every now and then did get me through the experience. Um, there's most of the movie takes place in Minecraft worlds, but there's a lot of stuff early in the movie, pre most of the characters going into Minecraft worlds. And I would think I think that that section has a lot of pretty decent, very absurd humor. um,
True. I would
that
agree
is
with that.
very over the top, very silly, and I
I
thought
mean,
there were a lot of bits during that section that were solid,
I think we can
and
talk about the fact that the kid destroys the chip factory, or not or like
it was
also
awesome. It was awesome when that happened.
I would agree with
EDM
this
writes.
this 100%.
Screenplays with multiple writers are like pop albums written by 10 plus people, not including the
Uh,
ghostwriters,
do I
aka
do
script
I agree with that?
doctors.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I
Uh,
I
there's an extent. Because I think
Cameron, we only have like 3 people watching us. We can't afford to disagree with any of them.
I
Please, for the
agree
love of all that's
100%.
please agree with
I
everyone, please.
here's what I'll say to that, right?
Okay.
Because I think with an album, you have multiple songs, and sometimes artists will work with multiple artists,
Mhm.
with different artists on each track
Yes.
to create one album,
Mhm.
which I think is valid, and that doesn't make it a bad album. I think though, well, I think if you're creating an album that has a narrative, then it doesn't work for the most part. But I think if you have an
For the
album
most
that's, you know what I mean? Like, because there do two kinds of albums. There are albums that are like,
part.
hey, we're just putting a bunch of songs together because they're a vibe, or they're just a thing. Or you have
Mm.
a song, an album that tells a story in it, right? I mean, it can go either way. But I would agree, but also not. I'm kind of mixed on this statement. Also, I have a little TNT box now. It's a little box, so you can put stuff in there.
Wow, that's like from the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, to speak on the movie, and still broad thoughts here. Did you have a packed theater? Because I had a packed theater.
I think we're about a third full. To be fair, though, I did watch it. Oh no, it was in the afternoon. I watched it at 5 p.m. on a Thursday. So like,
Everyone in the audience, make sure to take notes.
kind of
Note
mixed
it down.
bag on how that kind. I watched it at 9 p.m. on a Thursday in an IMAX theater, so it's gonna be
That
a
will
tough
affect the
IMAX
experience.
3D. I saw an IMAX 3D. But I saw an IMAX 3D to be like, this is so stupid. I'm gonna have fun watching it. It was not worth the 3D. There was nothing
Yeah, it
3D
just
about the
dawned on me that
movie.
you said that you watched this movie that you did not expect to enjoy in IMAX 3D.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
of
want to
my
watch even things I like in 3D.
I have that subscription where nothing costs extra, so except for IMAX. So I pay like a
Really?
couple extra bucks for an IMAX
Except for the
screen
thing
every
you paid
single.
extra for.
Yeah, but you know what? Big screen cool. I can't wait to go see Warfare in IMAX. That's gonna be really dope. That's gonna be a great movie in IMAX.
Is
Anyway, please, Justin, you were talking.
I do that sometimes. Um, so what I was saying was, kids in the theater. Um, that probably like elevated the experience quite a bit in the sense that they just every single time something would happen, they'd be like, "It's the creeper," and I'm like, "So true."
How
Like it
bad?
was
How
fun.
bad was
And it
it?
was like having.
Like,
I think the Minecraft movie is well. You make your comment first before I slightly change it. Go on.
no. I mean, I want to know your opinion.
Oh, you're
How
trying to change it on
bad?
me.
How like? Because we just Scribbles water talked about chicken jockey before.
It's true.
How? Why? Because it wasn't that wild for us. Like, I mean, there was some like some like forced laughs, I think, or some
My
genuinely
theater was
funny
erupting
moments.
with authentic, real human laughter.
But were people like throwing popcorn buckets and like sodas and stuff? Because seen those videos, right?
I'm sure that happened in like 2 theaters, and then everyone assumes it's happening in every theater. I've never had a theater experience like that ever in my life.
Me neither. Which I think speaks to because I keep getting like two sides of this coin about especially like those moments about like people going crazy. Someone put a live chicken into a movie theater
Mhm.
just for the chicken jockey moment, which I find to be animal cruelty, to be honest.
I
Uh,
agree, that's I
like
saw
poor
I saw a
chicken,
headline like that. I didn't really look into it.
poor chicken.
Poor chicken. Or how do you know the chicken wasn't having a good time? Someone wait, pull that one up. No,
Did someone really
So,
set off
this one I
fireworks?
did not hear about.
Did
Someone
someone
set off
really set off?
fireworks
I
in
didn't hear
the
this either. That's why I'm so
I mean,
shocked. Here's like
it was a pretty exciting movie. I feel like the fireworks.
I am all
What?
for a communal experience in the movie theater. I think that has limits though. right?
Says yes, it happens. That's crazy.
Um, I mean, please put this link in the chat, Scribbles. I need to watch this. I need to see
Can
this.
links
This
be
is
put
wild.
into the chat?
I think so. I haven't turned it
We'll
off or
find
anything.
out.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway,
But
otherwise, just DM me at Cameron Spector Official.
at gmail.com.
No, on Instagram at Cameron Spector. Just like DM it
Oh,
to me.
you said D. My brain's thought email. Anyway,
No, I really feel that. I know I just fully chinned my mic. I really feel that you can have a nice communal experience without throwing stuff.
I think that goes without saying. Yeah,
I also think because what I've now started to see
agreed.
is
Mhm.
some video link, some videos, some advertisements floating around um the internet where theaters are like, hey, come like scream and shout and like be wild at this screening. And I'm like, this is the same thing that we had with the Wicked movie.
Interesting. Yeah.
Where like we had the Wicked sing along
Mhm.
screenings that were specifically for sing-alongs, which totally valid. I understand if you're in a movie musical and you want to sing, but I also understand if you don't want to hear anyone sing. Like people can get super annoyed by that. I am one of those people. I'm also one of the people that likes to sing. I'm a very conflicted human being. It's basically what I'm saying.
And I watched
Anyway,
Wicked yesterday, so we're all relating to this right now.
and so like, but I also like there is a difference between that and like, because people were comparing it to like Rocky Horror Picture Show and like the Room screenings.
For a movie that just came out, okay.
Exactly, and that's the issue. It's like we're talking about we're comparing Minecraft movie with a cult classic, and I understand if you want to create screenings specifically for it and
Mhm.
have that engagement, and that's super cool. But I'm telling you, if I would have gotten soda on my face, I would have gotten really pissed off.
I want to make a joke, but like, yeah, no, that's fair.
As if it's a based argument. I feel like it's not like an insane argument to
It
have.
is pretty base to say that soda on face, no,
No
no
good.
bueno, as that one character in the movie would probably say. Um, I think that this movie kind of works if you come at it with the same energy of I'm about to watch an SNL skit. Where like there's the celebrities on screen, they're making jokes about a popular thing, and there's a laugh track if you have a good audience, and you're gonna laugh about it sometimes. Um,
That being
and
said, I do need to talk about the the script. I do need to talk about uh the whole I put on the spoiler ticker at the bottom.
did you
Also,
want to?
Scribbles, I did not get a link from you. So
So
either
that's
DM
just a
Cap
YouTube live
Gun or
stream
DM
issue.
me or
We will look into it. Um,
um
so
I feel
your
that
thought
every single
process was that you were
actor
gonna want to talk
I feel
about
that
the
every single
script.
I feel I feel
Oh
every
my!
single actor is like underutilized in this film. There's not a single
You
actor in
don't
this
think there's an
film.
Oscar worthy performance in here?
No, and I also don't
Really?
think that Jack Black's performance is like good for even for his caliber. I truly think that Jack Black was miscast in this film.
It's interesting because there's something about his voice that I do find really endearing just in itself. But then when he but then but then when he's kind of existing in a space, it doesn't always reach the endearment. But no, I listen, I mean like there's 5 main characters in this. Okay, we'll pause. Okay, Cameron. Alamo Drafthouse has special fan screenings like Magic Mike 2 Rowdy screening, the last screening of the day when you could scream and shout.
I mean, I love that, and I think that's totally important to have those kinds of experiences. But don't make that every single experience, please. Like, let's have some restraint. This is, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Is
Did
like
I feel like anything at any point you know, resulted in any feelings coming out of me? Not exactly. Did I feel a little charm in the fun of the very stupid bits? Every now and then. And I think for a movie that's it's giving the kids what they want. There's a lot of Minecraft stuff on screen. It's like when the Mario movie had a lot of Mario stuff on screen.
Yeah,
Nah?
but I was a Minecraft kid growing up, and I was just like, "This is not good."
That's interesting though, because I played Minecraft. I know most of the things in the movie that they were show
Yeah,
the expanded cast of Minecraftians. Um,
cast of
but
Minecraftians.
you're the one who see like I thought like the introduction to the world. Now that we're in spoiler territory, and we'll speak more specifically. Really baffling introduction to the world at the very beginning of the movie. It's like this is it, and I'm like,
The whole
if
first
this is
20
not
minutes
if
is
this wasn't an
monologue.
adaptation, this is absolutely not how a world would ever be introduced in
But the
a movie. It
whole the
wasn't.
whole the
Yeah.
whole first 20 minutes is this long monologue by Steve.
His it's Jacques Blue. Jacques Blue.
You mean
That's his
Jack
name.
Black? Who's
Let's not
played Steve.
Americanize everything, Cameron.
Um, I feel like, and that really like got to my core. I'm like, this is lazy filmmaking. This is such lazy filmmaking. You are expositioning my way through the first
It's
20
it's
minutes
it's
of this
it's
film.
tricky though, because like when the rest of the characters come into the Minecraft world a little later, and they start to piece together things little by little. That is how you more traditionally introduce a world. So they do eventually get to that, but it
Right,
is
but then
a weird thing at the beginning of the movie where like it's neither that, but it's also not like Jack Black's in this world and we're just like cutting in on it. It's supposed to be like, oh, what is this world? I'm not exactly following. It was this weird middle ground of like sort of explaining things, but in a way that was like more funny for the people who are already familiar with the material than it was helpful in any way for anyone who isn't. It was a very bizarre way to start your movie.
it was
I,
it was it
I
just it felt like a studio exec was like, I don't understand Minecraft. Explain have Jack Black. We're paying Jack Black. Have him explain it to me.
yeah,
I'm
explain
like,
things while he's at
okay.
it. Um,
Am I
I, I,
wrong?
I
Is
like
that
I
what it
like
said?
the angry person in front of the mine opening
That was
shouting at
great.
him that
That's
looks
pretty
the
funny.
same between like the 20-year age gap. Who's just furious. That it's a weird thing in that I do think some of a lot. I like a lot of the not a lot. I like a decent amount of the movie
I
that takes
love
place outside of the Minecraft world. And I like they'll get me with the absurdist bits every now and
like
then.
the zoo.
Um Second,
Like the zoo.
what was the zoo? Yeah,
It
and
was the
the
real
zoo,
estate agent who also owned a zoo and had a llama in her car.
I felt bad for her that she has all these little
I just
side gigs that she has to do, but nothing really about it incited a chuckle in me. I don't. There were many things with that were like, okay, now laugh, right? Like it's just like
yeah.
here's something weird to look at, and that's flavor, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, the whole first act, right? As you know, Justin, as a
Okay,
great screenwriter yourself, you know that the whole first act is all supposed to build up what you're about to watch,
sure,
right? I
yes.
didn't feel like it built up to anything that we would then watched, except for the fact that they were in Idaho and the kids were new, and the youngest didn't feel like he belonged, but everyone else, I
It's
mean, there was such like I felt like there were some arcs, but they were more like little teeny humps than like actual story arcs in this film. It didn't feel like much actually happened in the end until like the super end, where like I feel like we went from like what is technically an Act 2A to an Act 3 without like any of Act 2B. I just feel like we just kept
I
going
did
on and on and
I
on and
did
on,
also have
and
that
then the
similar
end
feeling
just
of like,
happens. So I'm
oh
like,
shoot,
what?
we're
What's
at
going
the
on?
end part now, where
Yep.
they have a big final fight. I guess we're here now.
Right before the final fight, I was like, "This film is either about to end in 5 minutes or it's gonna go on for another 2 hours," and I don't know which is which.
We have 5 characters, and by that I mean we have, like, 2 characters, but and, like, 3 bonus ones, because they only really like to give screen time in this movie to, like, the 2 adult men. That's really all they care about. Technically, there's the younger boy who's kind of in that audience surrogate main character role, but he doesn't actually get a ton to do in the movie.
That's true.
But and then they do not treat the 2 women leads well at all. Um,
You mean what? These 2 women are only token characters that basically have no dignity or respect? What are you talking about?
the sister gets to be like my brother, and the other woman gets
And
to
the
go. That was weird.
she
So
gets to
those
be
were
the
their
token
2.
she gets to be the token African American every single film, basically. Am I
Unfortunate.
wrong?
It sucks because I loved her as was her the character Tasty, Orange is the New Black. She was in purple, the color purple also.
That's true, and she's a great
She
actress.
was
I
really
just
great in
think,
both those.
just like every single other actor in this film, she was underutilized.
Good times. Well, the movie is interesting in that the cast is really weird. You have your main 5, right? And I can't remember the last time I watched a movie in which it felt like out of like 5 characters, there were like 2 different pairs that I was like, wait, I don't want a middle finger. Anyway, um 2 pairs that could be like merged into a single character. Because like the 2 adult men are very similar in their presentation. Like obviously there's little ways in which they're written differently. Like you obviously you could tell them apart, but like they bring such a similar energy to the type of humor and all that they bring, that
Sure.
they bring into the table, and the influence they're having on the other characters. They feel like they could be merged into one character, and the 2 women feel like they could be kind of merged into one character, at least in how they're utilized for the story, which also then just leaves like the lone, young boy kid thing. But it that's a thing you learn in like early screenwriting about like sometimes it's good to kind of like merge these characters if they're filling a very similar role. Obviously this movie wants to separate some of these characters at a point and give them people to talk to, but it's just weird that like you usually in this kind of movie you're like, here, you have a cast of 5 and you have like 2 normal people and one's wacky in this way and one's wacky in this way and one's wacky in this way. And it's like you don't feel that variety in these characters so much. But yeah,
It's a
it looks
wild
like you have something to
movie.
say there.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't even like Jason Momoa, who like is a decent actor, but I wouldn't say he's like done anything that's ever like Academy worthy.
Mhm.
Which like I'm sorry that we like basically jumped into this movie without also mentioning that apparently there's gonna be now a best stunts Oscar going out in 2 years. So we're
Why are
getting
you
best casting
apologizing?
because I
Why?
wanted to talk about this, but I forgot because you were pushing me to go to.
I was pushing you to talk about the thing that people would click on this video for. Oh no, we
Yeah,
could
but I
talk.
want
We
to
could
talk
talk about
about it.
that whenever. We could talk about
Anyway,
that whenever.
anyway,
We could end the Capgun Productions podcasty 2025 episode 8 of season 3 on here's the little updates. Here's the little updates for the people who stuck around. You earned these updates. Here you go. Here's an update.
I I, I do not know
Mhm.
why Jason Momoa decided I'm gonna be a producer on this film without with except for the fact that he became an actor on it. It just I don't know why he decided this is the movie. Like I think he was
No.
brought on as
I think you're missing the headline here, Cam. If you have the opportunity to sign up for the adaptation of what is arguably the most popular video game in the world, you don't say no to that.
Maybe.
This movie's making bango bucks. Like, of
Which
course you're
is
gonna say
sending
yes.
the
Yes,
wrong
okay,
message
yeah.
to the industry,
Oh,
right?
you want me to be the producer of the Minecraft movie? Uh, I'll do it at half price as long as I'm getting a cut of the box office. Go on,
That's
I'm
valid, I
in.
guess.
Like,
But does Momoa get a cut? I guess he would, right? That's why he's EP. Is he EP? I think he's EP.
you probably know that better than I do, so I'm not gonna try to make a little
Um,
say a little thing there.
it's not. This movie hurt to watch.
Oh my poor little baby. Tell me more.
It just hurt to watch. I was
um
just these jokes
I mean,
around.
I did find it like I think it's funny though because I think before we watched the movie, you were like, "This was pretty rough." And maybe you'll like it better than I do, and I'm like, "Karen, not a chance." But the reality is, I do think I managed through it better than you did. I'm like, it's
Oh
fine.
my
Like,
lord! I
it's
just realized this. There are 5 different screenwriters on this film, and
wow.
then 3 different people. Oh no, sorry. One of the people overlaps, who worked on the story.
Ooh,
So 3
double
people worked on the
dipping.
story, and then another group of 5 people worked on, and then there was a different director who was none of these people that worked on the screenplay. What even is this movie? I was so annoyed at like I kept like sighing on a high level because it was just so exhausting.
Advanced sighing on
Advanced sighing, it truly
on a
was.
high levels is
With like the thought of just like these jokes aren't good. Can we also talk about the Jennifer Coolidge part of all of this? Because
you know,
we haven't
I was
mentioned her
ready to get to that. I
whatsoever.
figured that I had enough things to say about the actual main story before we get there. But yes, as a side venture,
As it,
Cameron,
yeah,
we went into okay. I didn't know Jennifer Coolidge was going to be in this movie.
me
You
neither. By the way,
informed me of this information, and then I said, "Oh, that's good. I'm a big Jennifer Coolidge stan now that I very recently got into the White Lotus." And then you said, "No, no, no, no. You're not even going to be able to enjoy that." And let me tell you, Cameron, she was awesome. I
I
I think every single moment with Jennifer Coolidge in this movie was a delight, except there's one scene. Were the 2 scenes or 3 scenes where they were having a little dinner together?
think
Do you
there was
know
two
it?
scenes. I think there was two.
2 scenes. Well, I think the only Jennifer Coolidge scene in this whole movie. Yes, yes, Scribbles. Yes, you are correct.
I mean,
Yes,
I have to
yes,
say the
Jennifer Coolidge
end
and stuff.
credits scene, the mid-roll scene was the funniest scene in this
That was
movie.
no, that was awesome. That was awesome, and I'll get to that in a
When
second.
the villager starts talking in this weird British accent. And
Well,
we also find out that the only teacher apparently that teaches at this school is the ex-husband of the vice principal played by Jennifer Coolidge. What is this
okay,
movie?
well, we're gonna rewind a little bit because I was gonna set the pieces up for that and my experience with that beat. But Jennifer Coolidge's part right off the bat is saying these extraordinary things that one should not be saying to a student, and I'm eating it up. It's delightful. She has a wonderful way of making everything she says sound funny. She's so natural with it because you believe her. You believe deeply that the things that she's saying, she thinks are necessary things to say because they're deep from within her heart. Um, and I, that first scene might have been one of my favorites of the movie when it's just her and the kid and she's just explaining, well, and you probably have heard that I've been divorced recently. It's like, no, we students don't hear about that before joining the school. Like, there's a bunch of little things like that. It was fun. It was good. Then yeah, she meets the villager from Minecraft that escaped into the world,
Who she
and
runs over
and
with her
they're cuties
car.
together. She just has such a way with words.
Wait, Justin, can we point out that there is like a world uh uh in this world, she admits while helping the villager off the road that she has hit people with her car before on this road. Like,
Yes, you
what
should
is this
not
movie?
again,
Also, is this a
again.
children's movie or is this an adults and a movie for adults? Because I couldn't tell.
Who cares?
It
Like
did not have.
that is the I'm just gonna ramble because I hear this complaint about movies for a while. We gotta one thing at a time, Cameron. One thing at a time. Because I started and finished my initial ramble about
Then
this.
you finish your initial ramble, and then we'll get to this, and then
Well,
we'll
but
do
then
the
there's my
next
second
ramble.
ramble based off of what you
Okay,
just said.
do ramble 1, then ramble 2, and then we'll get to this. I'll put this off screen.
Okay,
Am I going too
so
fast for
then
you?
there's villager person. I'm like, wow, what a delightful little setup. We just get Jennifer Coolidge talking to herself and the villager making some faces, and we're like, well, it's silly because this
Huh.
guy doesn't have a personality. She's like, I want
Huh.
a guy with personality. He's just standing there. We're like, wow, this is not what a normal guy looks like, but she's all over. That's wacky. Like, obviously, it's very simple jokes, but they're done effectively. The only that then I will say there's a second eating dinner scene where I was like, ah, dang it. I was really liking the Jennifer Coolidge stuff, but the second diner scene is all the same jokes as the first one. I'm getting nothing new here. This is a bit of a slog of a scene in comparison. This is rough.
So
And
run
then the
time passed.
credits scene happens,
Okay.
and they're getting married, and all of a sudden the villager is being voiced by what's his name? Matt Berry from the hit show What We Do in the Shadows. If you want a guy who talks like that throughout the entire show instead of just in a credits scene, like that is the show for you. He is remarkable in that show, and I recognized his voice right away, and I'm like, I woo, woo. And obviously, like it's not like a very advanced form of entertainment to just be like, here's a person you recognize, and the audience goes woo. But that was what I was doing. I was going woo. Um, wasn't Scribbles writes, wasn't he in a SpongeBob movie too? Did he voice the dolphin? You know, if he did, I wouldn't have noticed because I don't think I would have known who he was yet in the second SpongeBob movie. Second
Also,
SpongeBob movie was 2015. Who voiced the dolphin? He did voice Bubbles. I didn't know who he was at that point in time.
EDM
I'll
writes,
get to
in
my second
addition to the
ramble that I
stunt
might have
casting
already
Oscar,
forgotten after you read this.
in addition to Sun Casting Oscar, which super excited about. That's coming in 2027, I believe. The
Wow.
casting director one is coming next year, which I'm super excited about because casting directors deserve some love. In addition to Sun Casting Oscar, the stuntman who created the special burning hydrogel that allows actors to catch on fire is getting an Academy plaque at the Academy Science,
Yay.
which is super cool. That stuff rules. Love that.
Mm.
Anyway, Justin, we're
I'm gonna
about
get
to have a nice little brawl
okay.
on.
I'm gonna finish ramble number 2, and then I have actual points to make about story and movie because we've not gotten into like more like the weeds of
I
like
don't think
actual
we're getting
story.
to our topic this week.
Cut the topic. We have so much to say about this movie. I mean, that's
Somehow we
my pitch.
do.
Feel
No,
free
I'm
to
down for it.
disagree. I
I'm
don't know
down for it. I'm down
what
for it.
video game movie I pitched, but I have enough to say about the actual movie that.
I'm down for it. I'm down.
Okay, cool. Then you might want to edit the title of the video at some point. Doesn't matter when. But ramble number 2 that I started and then other things started popping up was people make this point often of like, who was this movie even made for? And like, I never really resonated with that as an argument for why a movie might be bad, that you feel as though it's not, you watching it feel as though it's not aiming for one particular audience. Cause I'm like, does the movie work for you? Because if it does, then it did a good job. And if the movie doesn't work for you, then it maybe didn't do such a great job. Or like
I will agree with you, except
accepts. There's
um
always an accept.
like I mostly agree with you on that point because I do subscribe to the same theory that you do. First of all, this film did not work for me. That's
Mm.
point number 1. And point number 2 is that I feel like if you're gonna go that route, you have to be a little bit more subtle in your jokes than what was the quote that was given to me? like, what was it? What did this person say to me? They were like, "You can bag me up anytime."
I'm trying to
Which
I vaguely remember
Jennifer
hearing this.
Coolidge
What
says
is
that
that?
Jennifer Coolidge says that to Jason Momoa because he's the garbage man or he's the bag man.
That was awesome.
And he's like, "You can bag me up." She goes, "You can bag me up anytime." And I'm like, "All right, guys. I feel like we're a little too on the nose here with our adult jokes in a PG film."
So how
So
this okay,
that's
think
either
about
my
this way.
nostalgia
How
not
this
thinking.
affects you, right, is you feel awkward on behalf of the younger audience.
Oh no, I just sigh because I didn't think that was a good joke.
Then that but that's not related to the point you're making at all.
That's correct. 100% it's not.
Then what are we talking about?
ETN, the answer to this question is yes. I believe that this will be the Golden Globes cinematic and box office achievement based on the calendar year that we have ahead of us in films.
Really? I mean, like, we got, like,
Well, what else is coming out? Mission
Fantastic Four?
Impossible? Is Fantastic Four coming out this year?
Yeah.
Because I know next year is going to be a big year for films. I know like at least 6
Well,
different directors and
yeah, this year's for Marvel, it's Thunderbolts and
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four.
Four. Next year, you got, like, the Avengers movie.
You have the Avengers
Um,
movie, but you also have the Odyssey from Nolan. You have like a bunch of like big
Point
films coming
being,
out
like,
next year.
there's probably other things I'm not thinking about, but the first thing that came to my mind was Fantastic Four. I feel like, assuming, as if it all goes well there,
The film
they're gonna go
yeah.
for a Marvel movie before they go. They don't care about Minecraft. Here's the thing.
They
Um,
went for Barbie for this category 2
yeah,
years
but
ago.
adults
And then
like
what did they do
Barbie.
last year?
Adults are doing the voting, and adults liked Barbie. I don't think the voters are gonna
What is
care
this
about Minecraft.
category? What is this category?
It's still a category that adults are putting their input into, and I don't
No, that's
think
not my question. What is this category? Like, point blank.
cinematic and box office achievement does it just go to the highest grossing?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You brought it up. Well, EDM brought it up, but you brought it up before I did.
But all right, I'm gonna oh, Wicked went with it last year. It has in the past gone to films where they felt that a movie did not get a best film win. That has been happening over the past few years because it was
Yeah, and
Barbie
Minecraft
and
that
it was
was never gonna end up anywhere
that's
near that
true. So
category.
I
So
don't know.
why is
I actually
Minecraft?
disagree. Yeah, I know, Justin. You have now brought a great point. I disagree. This is a lock.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought it was, and now when I really think about it, I'm not so sure. Because it feels like this award always goes to like the more like box officey film that gets nominated for an Oscar every year for Best Picture. You know what I mean?
Here's what happens, right? It's that a tale as old as time in which certain types of movies are more likely to get Oscars. That when people are watching, they're like, "Wow, this feels important," you know. But I liked this other one more. I really liked that Barbie movie. But it's a little too silly for me to strongly consider it for the. I say that, but like movies like Everything Everywhere still got to win Best
It was a
Picture.
fun movie. That
Uh,
was, I feel, a
that's one of
creative.
my favorite movies. Point being that it still needs to be a movie that the people who care, who are part of the Academy, still like and care about. Like, I don't think that's gonna happen for Minecraft. We keep now talking about Minecraft,
I know.
and I have a
Say
list of
though,
things.
I would say though, it is. I think that I would be surprised if it doesn't get nominated for this award. You know what I mean? All right, Justin, you have a bunch of story points that I guess we got to rapid fire through.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to not spend too much time on each of these. No, first thing I wrote down in that regard is, so what do we the overworld is what they call the Minecraft, but it was really bizarre name in the context of the movie. I get that's what they call it in the video game, but imagine walking into this vast utopia and going, "Yes, the overworld." Unless maybe you got the name from the villagers.
Maybe.
I'll buy it. But just that's not the important part. The important part is why why do we care about the overworlds being taken over by the nether worlds?
'Cause then you
If you
can't
don't play the
craft.
video games and you don't really care about this world, it's still a world in which half the time you are being hunted down for death. Do these main characters really care about protecting this world from the scary netherworld people? Like I'm not. At least I'm not really bought into it right off the bat. When Jack Black is like, he spends like 5 minutes there and then plays with a dog, and then some. There's scary people in the overworld, but there's also scary people in the netherworld. But the scary netherworld people are the bad ones who try to take over the overworld. He's like, no, not the overworld.
Here's my
I'm like,
thought. I have a
I'm not
theory.
as bought into I care so deeply about the overworld not being
Yeah.
run by these guys as I think the movie wants me to be, as a typical movie would get me to feel, especially because it's like, are the netherworld guys all that much worse than the nighttime overworld people? I don't know. They're equally scary and equally defeatable. I don't know. I understand that's the adaptation element of it, but they didn't, as a movie, that part didn't win me over. What were you gonna say?
The only thought that I would say to that is like it's the symbiotic relationship of it all. If that makes sense. It's like the overworld has like a symbiotic relationship with its day and night cycle, where like
Mhm.
everyone comes out during the day or at night, which isn't 100% true. But if you played the game, that being said, it's like, well, here we are.
That's a great
I don't
point,
know.
Cameron.
I
Here
agree.
we
I agree
are.
with your point. I would just offer that as a like reasoning.
Over the time of the movie, as we got to see that other people like live there, like I vibed with it a little bit more. It's like, okay, we're also defending sentient beings that exist in this world. Like then it was just like, especially after the opening sequence where the threats to, you know, a lot of movies will like have a cold open that are like, oh, we're introducing the threats to our world, and we're like, oh, our worlds, we can, our worlds being destroyed would be bad. People like me live there.
Right.
But when you just have Jack Black exist in this world where he piles up some blocks and meets a dog, and then goes, "Oh no, I can't let the overworld be taken over." Like you're not really, I don't care. Later in the movie, I cared a little more.
Point number two.
Point number two: Steve's plan, very weird, because he had this whole thing of like, oh, I'm gonna help guide these people, but then I was gonna use the orb as leverage for the netherworld people, and I'm like, but don't you also think that your dog wolf thing is in the real world? So why wouldn't you just leave with your pals and find your dog
I would
and
agree
not
that
have
is
to deal
weird.
with the bad guys, and the bad guys have no chance of getting the orb, and you can just come back whenever you want and you'll be fine? Like, I don't I didn't know under really. I think they just needed Steve to have a change of heart, but I don't really think they cracked the code on how this all works. But that's just me. What are you
What
gonna say?
7 different people that worked on this story couldn't crack that code together? What a surprise.
Well, Um, what did I write here? I mean, this we kind of just talked about the broad character points. I wrote, Steven Garbage Man were fine when they weren't obnoxious. Wished for more between the siblings, and I'm glad Tasty got a dog.
Yay.
But like, yeah, actually, more to that point, I had another point. Let's talk more specifically about the movie. Starts the main human character, the sibling human characters, in this place of you they at least led me to believe that the big setup for this movie was the mom died and everything's tough now, and they bring it up quite a few times. They want you to feel emotional about it at a few points in during the first act. And I'm like, oh wow, so we're gonna use this to like kind of like process that, and that could be really interesting. Never brought up again. I don't know.
As I said, we brought this up before. The
We did.
first act doesn't build anything in this film. It
Well,
just
and
kind
that's
of
yeah, but
exists.
I just figured to talk it out a little
It
more
really gets
in
to me.
specifics. But
God
it was very I found it very bizarre, especially because Garbage Man dies at some point in the movie, right? And they
dies.
but
We
like
think he's
they
dead.
kind of just like skim over the fact that he died, which made me think, okay, well he's gonna come back, but
which is what a good Act 2B would have done too. This film doesn't
they,
make any sense
but
in
like
a structural
they
sense.
deal with another death so soon after a really impactful and assumedly the the mom died really recently. Like I thought they like this would make them like bring up some old memories and the siblings could bond some more and work through this stuff. There is a more central thesis. You brought up earlier, like it's more about the boy feeling fitting in, and he finds a world where he does feel like he's more in
Yeah.
tune with the environment. And actually, I do think there's some good stuff there. It's just weird because in the first act, there's so much more to feel regarding him and his mom than there is like him being left out. Like there's like one scene of people being like, "Ha ha, you were smart," and it's like, okay. Um,
This movie doesn't know how to set itself
I
up
mean, I
properly.
mean, they set it up a bit with like, oh, we gotta try to fit in on the first day, and we have this thing like mom used to make that and we'll give out food, and then he blew something up at some point, and like whatever. But it didn't really, at least for me, resonate as much as like, oh shoot, they're really going through it. This family's in a really tough spot right now. Just don't bring it up the whole rest of the movie, even when there's ample opportunity to. But should I another point? Do you have something to say, or should I go to
No,
next
do
point?
one more point and then let's.
One more point. Um,
How many more points do you have?
3.
All right.
um, I thought there's a whole subplot talking about things that do happen as opposed to things that don't happen. Um, there's the Jason Momoa's diamond selfishness story that feels it's really really odd in how the kid reacts to it. Like this is the worst thing anyone's ever done, even though it's. I don't even think that there's enough for the kid to like sink his teeth into, and that like this is a detour. Like it's clear that this guy knew that he would be able to get diamonds, but the kids never really let in on this information that they could have skipped this mountain. But point being, like, there's this whole story about Jason Momoa like being really selfish, and he collects all these diamonds, and he's scolded for it, which in itself didn't quite feel like it fit in terms of how it's reacted to. But it never. That's not that. Once he takes the diamonds and the kid calls him out for being selfish, and there's I guess one scene later that's like, "You're the worst person I've ever met in my life," something, whatever the younger kid says. It's never really resolved. Like he comes back at the end and saves the kid, but it's not like a sacrifice move. I felt so sure based off of this movie's momentum of creativity, right? That we were like going to be getting to this place where like, oh, he has all these diamonds. At some point, he's gonna need to learn to value these new people in his life above his own, struggles, and he's
I
going
agree. That's
to
what I thought was going to
exemplify
happen too.
that by crafting these diamonds that he picked up from the mines into something really cool. And he's gonna give up his wealth and have this great magical something that helps him save the day and protect those he cares about. The diamonds themselves are never brought up again. I don't know if he brought them back with him or not. There's no resolution to him coming across as selfish exactly. I mean, like he came back to save the day, but like that was also in his own best interest. Like he didn't lose anything by doing that.
I
And it
agree.
could have tied into this creativity narrative to have him sacrifice for creativity. What are you gonna say?
No, I agree. I was just saying the whole time that I agree with what you said. Like it just
Or should I keep rolling? Because I have
please do.
one. Go. You said.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Tiny thing, very tiny thing. Before I get to the last thing, and I'll end on actually a positive note. Um, I didn't like that. Steve Jack Black was so willing to give up his little dog wolf thing at the end of the movie. I thought that was a very bizarre choice. This is his best friend in the entire world, and he's giving it away to this woman who she's great, but she bonded with like 30 dogs. So why does she have
Yeah.
to take his dog? Like, yes, they do end up both going to the real world together, but we have a whole section just about goodbye, my best friend. I'm going to live here alone now. I'm like, this. Why? As a person who has a dog, that makes me unhappy to see.
Where's Mia? Show Mia.
She ran off after the first
Ah,
5 seconds of the
darn.
podcast.
You
But
know what? Even Scribbles agrees with you.
right. Very bizarre choice. I didn't really follow. I didn't
And then what's your final note, my friend?
You know what? I think, and this would have tied into the topic if we did the topic. I think that this movie did accomplish the most important thing it had to accomplish in terms of being an adaptation beyond just showing the stuff people want to see. And that's understanding why people like Minecraft, what draws people to Minecraft, and making and having a real strong takeaway for the movie that involves that in its message, you know. Because everything is tied together by creativity. If you're a young kid, you're getting into Minecraft, or an adult, but like obviously the primary demographic is going to be kids. You know, you're going to be drawn in by, I want to make things in this world. I can make anything. It's exciting, and I have the materials to do so. I just got to figure out the patterns and recognize what to do in order to transition materials into this massive creativity. And everything in the movie, it does tie into creativity. The pretty much the at least all, you know, the younger kid and the two adult men have stories that tie into wanting to exist in this world for the sake of creativity. They don't really give that to the woman for some reason, but they do also give it to the villain character who wanted to be a dancer and was shut down, and now she's shutting down all of her other Netherland, what's the place called? Netherworld.
Netherworld?
The Netherlands. Her netherworld little things, little pig pals.
I just
Um,
feel to that point. I
the
just
point that has
feel
not
that
fully been made yet, but go
Oh,
on.
sorry. Okay. No, please,
No,
please.
no, no. I've been rambling a while. I'll take a pause. You first.
I just feel like that point comes in so late into the film. Like it's kind of not super a big through line and it
It's in
forgets
Act
itself.
One. I mean, like
A
I mean,
little bit.
the kid is struggling with this feeling very early on in the film. Both him and Jason Momoa and Steve, all three of them are dealing with this thing of, I want to exist in this world of creativity, but the world is making that difficult. And so I'm going to put away my dreams of creativity because pursuing them is too daunting.
It
I
just
think
feels so
all three of them,
shoehorned.
right from the start of the movie, or at least the start of each of their stories, is grappling with that
And
issue.
then they kind of forget about that. And then it kind of doesn't come out to the really end.
Yeah, I, in terms of talking points, yes. But it
I
is
don't know. I just don't
exemplified
think the
in the world of
execution was Dell
Minecraft.
1.
The younger kid
Dell
and
1?
Steve flourish in this world, and they don't want to leave because they're able to engage with creativity. And
Yeah.
I think I don't for a movie that you could complain holds your hands a little too much. I'm fine with that not being as outright stated. And during that period of time, you have the villain who's striking people down for being too creative.
Which we don't
Uh,
know till the end.
you what?
Which we don't know until the end, that's why.
That's fine, I think.
I get that's valid. I just feel like the
Once
whole
you notice a
film takes on
pattern,
such a
but once a thing happens in pattern, you recognize it. She kills like 2 or 3 of her underlings for
oh, for
doing
the art,
creative
yeah.
things. So you pick
That's
up
fair.
on like creativity bad from this person's perspective.
I guess.
That's all you need, and then you find out why later in the movie. I think that's fine.
But Justin, that being said,
Oh, I didn't get to my
I
point yet. I was just replying to you. Um, do you want this to be over? I think we're having a fun time.
I'm having a great time. I just have a movie to go to.
Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know you're
I
on a
did.
anyway.
What's your actual point? I want to get your actual point, and then I want to rate that movie,
Well,
and then
not because they not only integrate creativity into the movie, which I think is what they need to do for the Minecraft movie, but I think they then transcend that into a good message that wasn't necessary for them to do, but they did anyway. And that's if you are in, part of the lesson, of course, is being a creative can be daunting and difficult, and it's easier to just take the straight and narrow, easy, traditional path. But beyond that, it's also very directly telling, especially the younger audience, but it can affect anyone, that if you are having fun being creative in Minecraft, there are applicable uses for that same mental pathway of creativity that you could then bring to the real world. There are ways to innovate and create and make things beyond your wildest imagination in the real world. And they bring that to the end. And you don't have Jack Black's character going, well, he initially is, but he's deterred otherwise from going, I guess I'm just gonna stay here forever, because Minecraft is the only place where you could build stuff that you want to make and be creative. No, everyone comes back to the real world and makes and creates, and it's so applicable, and I think it's such a good thing to put out there into the world. That's my little thoughts.
I love those thoughts. I don't know. I just feel it's I don't disagree with you on anything like to like a deep degree. I would just, especially for the last point, I just felt like the movie's execution was just so not amazing
Mhm.
that I feel like the message got muddled in there a bit, you know?
I think the message was like so in your face that I feel the complete opposite. Like, I'm like,
That's valid.
I think it's kind of obvious. Like, listen, I don't disagree that there's many scenes in this movie that I'm like, it's easy, easy, easy. But like, I think in terms of what the message of the movie is, I think it's very obvious. But that's
Maybe. I actually,
my
you know what?
opinion.
I don't disagree with you on that. I just feel like within a movie that like could have focused on that more, it didn't, and that's why I didn't like it.
Would you make the argument then that the message of the movie would have been more effective if you just cared about what was going on in the movie more enough to pay attention to those elements? Because
Yeah.
if the movie isn't engaging you, of course you're not gonna really care to
Yeah.
pick up on these
That's
things.
valid. That's super valid.
And we
I
gotta
feel like they tried to bring the kid into the spotlight, but it felt like a movie that was about the trash
oh
guy
yeah,
and Steve, and the other two were just there. Yep. I mean,
absolutely.
Justin,
Um
video games better suited. Is there a better film adaptation?
are video games better suited for teen? I mean, it depends on the
It depends on the movie.
adaptation. It
It
depends
depends
on
on
the
the
story you
IP.
want to tell. If you want to tell, Last of Us is a story-driven game that encompasses a lot of story. It would be very tough to effectively tell that whole story in the course of a movie. Whereas Minecraft is so freeform, they could have made it into a TV show. They would just need a story that is that would manage that length. For the story they wanted to tell in this movie, I would not have made it a show,
No,
especially if they're
I
going to tell
agree.
it the way that they're telling it.
But they could have made an
I don't think
TV
there's
show out of it.
ever any definitives in how long a thing should be. It just depends on the story. Yeah, obviously it'd be more interesting if I had an opinion here one way or the other, but I don't think that makes sense to be
No,
concrete
I
about
agree with you,
that.
Justin. I I would say that if Minecraft would have been a TV show, been a very different show than what
Mhm.
this was. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, that being
Yes,
said,
I
guys, it is time to rate
Great. That
that
movie!
movie. All right. I gave this a 3 out of 10 on Letterbox. I was not impressed.
Um,
Yeah, I
Rate
stick with it.
that movie. I give it a, um, uh, an 11 out of 10 hot villagers.
Huh. And I think that's the best way to end it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We love you.
Oh,
We enjoy you every
what we
single
do next
second.
time, Cammy Cam?
Next in 2 weeks, we are watching Boys in the Boat with
Wow.
I
I
believe our
heard of that
topic
one,
I
and
believe I
Scribbles
bel
gives it a 5.5.
that's valid. I can see that.
That's averagey.
That's averagey.
That's
All right, you
averagey,
guys.
you know?
Talk to you guys in 2 weeks
I'll miss you.
and go
I'll
to the
miss you
movies.
so much. I'm gonna miss you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.